Oh, man, Bernie Sanders has to be the only politician that I can remember, like, that I've ever heard of that could win twice, and somehow they frame it as if he's the loser. Yeah, like, how do you win and still be the loser?
Let me take this opportunity to thank the people of New Hampshire for a great victory tonight.
This is the thing they're doing. It's like Bernie won New Hampshire and Iowa. He got more votes in both places, and still somehow it's as if he's doing badly. Well, he didn't do what he did in 2016. He didn't have more votes in 2016, so therefore, he's not doing well at all. It's just a horrible thing. What's wrong with Bernie? Why can't Bernie do as good as he did in 2016? We got a pizza, right? We got pizza. Let's say it's got 10 slices, like the big slices. We got 8 slices. 8 slices on a pizza, which is about right. And we only got 2 people. There's just so many slices. Your greedy ass is going to eat by yourself. But there's only 2 people. You got 8 slices. Maybe you'll try to power through and eat 3. You might eat 4. But let's say you got 8 slices of pizza and you got yourself 8 people. Yeah, you got 8 people. They're sitting at the table. They're looking at the pizza. Everybody wants a slice of pizza. No one here is eating today. And you end up getting 3 slices to yourself. Some people get 1 slice. One guy got 2 slices. Some people got no slices. Who got more of the pizza? It's a pretty simple way to look at it, but way over the head of various people in cable news media. And this is why I tell you guys, you can't trust these mofos. They are the most disingenuous bunch. The only way you can make the guy who got the 3 slices of pizza sound like or be on par with the person getting no slices of pizza, or the person getting 1 slice of pizza, or dare I say the person who got 2 slices of pizza, is if you are the most disingenuous person or a person who doesn't understand math. Now, I was no huge fan of Andrew Yang, but I could count to 3, and I know 3 is more than 2 or 1 or 0. I may not have went to Harvard. I went to Prince George's Community College, though, and I know in Prince George's Community College, we was taught 3 beats 0. So anyway, here goes a couple clips about how horrible Bernie did even when he won, and how well others did even though they lost.
This weekend to check out the Democratic campaigns. As the frontrunner in the polls, Senator Bernie Sanders of neighboring Vermont is hoping to repeat his performance of 4 years ago. Yet with a serious challenger on his heels, it's not clear he'll gain the dominant victory he got in 2016. Following his delegate victory in Iowa, South Bend's Pete Buttigieg is getting hit by Sanders, but also by his fellow moderates. His audience this weekend seemed impressed by his insurgent campaign, however, weighing whether he's the best alternative to his self-described socialist. Here he is.
Pete, maybe like Jimmy Carter and Barack Obama, burst out of nowhere. Certain amount of energy and momentum.
You think he might be president?
Yes, I do. I think he can beat Trump.
Well, what's for Bernie? I'm Bernie's supporter, but I don't know. Now I'm here to listen to Pete.
I think he has the capability to bring 2 sides of the party together.
I like Pete quite a lot.
What's about him? Compare him to Bernie.
I think Bernie would probably be an electoral disaster. He would be a pincushion for the other side.
However, it was Senator Amy Klobuchar who was the first to raise an alarm about the danger of running a socialist candidate atop the Democratic ticket. I caught up with her this weekend following her breakthrough debate performance on Friday. Here goes. You were asked by George Stephanopoulos, the debate moderator, what your reaction was to the fact that Fox News and the the Republicans and Trump people will be going after Bernie Sanders for being a socialist. And you responded what?
Well, I think he was saying, do you think we should have a socialist leading the ticket? And I said correctly, I am friends with Bernie. We came into the Senate together, but I don't think we want a socialist leading the ticket, no. And I was literally the only one that raised my hand and
Why?
said that. I think I watched, everyone was looking around to see if who was going to raise their hands. I'm like, seriously? I think that you have to lead, and you have to be able to do things that are popular and unpopular.
The only thing between the United States and the abyss is the Democratic Party. That's it. And if we go the way of the British Labour Party, if we nominate Jeremy Corbyn, it's going to be the end of days. Some people in this country want a revolution. They want disruption. I don't know what, they scream at people. They go and bully people. And I don't know how you win an election. That's 78 years old, stand up screaming in a microphone about the revolution. But you got to give people an alternative.
With me now is U.S. Congressman Ro Khanna of California, who's a co-chair of the Bernie Sanders campaign. Congressman Khanna, tell me about your reaction to Carville says a couple things further. He said Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. He's an ideologue. He says, this is Carville speaking, it's harder to win with Sanders. Your response, sir?
I'd like to remind Jim Carville about his own history. He ran Harris Wofford's campaign in 1991 in Pennsylvania. Guess what Wofford ran on? On single-payer national health care. So Carville obviously knows it can win. He can win on that. Second, Carville, look at what Carville said about Obama. He said the same exact things. Oh, Obama is rolling the dice. Obama is unelectable. Guess what? Barack Obama was a two-term president. So I would want to know what James Carville has to say about the Wofford win and his comments on President Obama.
I know all about the Wofford win. He overcame a 40-point deficit to beat Thornburg, the former governor. Very impressive research, Congressman Khanna. Very impressive work on your part. You're smiling because you know you really did your homework. Let me ask you about this. Do you think ideology is a smart move for the Democrats to have someone calling for a revolution? Do you think that, mostly people center-left, center-right tend to be the ones that win these primaries and win these generals. What do you think? Do you think the country's in a mood for an ideological revolution right now?
I think what they're in the mood for is the completion of FDR's New Deal, but a New Deal for the 21st century. And I say Bernie Sanders is an FDR Democrat. Here's what he's talking about. Everyone should have health care. Everyone should have education. Everyone should have basic child care. Basically the things that I had growing up. I represent Silicon Valley. Let me tell you, Bernie Sanders is not talking about nationalizing Apple. There's no way I could represent Silicon Valley and support him if that was the case. He's talking about giving people a basic shot at the American dream and fulfilling the vision from FDR forward.
James Carville is a fossil. He's a hack. He even admits he's a hack. I've heard him say, yeah, I'm a hack. He was at Politicon. He had less of a line than I did, and no one knew me. So, come on, guys. James Carville, that's Bill Clinton's guy. He's a Democratic operative. He will say whatever he thinks benefits the Democratic Party. He doesn't care about truth. He didn't care about actually changing the system to benefit the most amount of Americans. He cares that the Democratic Party stays empowered. Period. If that's better for you or better for us, it's immaterial to James Carville. I hate to just make you sit through Amy Klobuchar talking. That was before New Hampshire, obviously, so she hadn't actually, moved from 5th to 3rd place in a state yet. And if you thought she was hard to deal with then, God, you should hear her now. Yeah, she went from not being on the map to being on the map a little bit, and now she is the most annoying person in this race. Yeah, it's like they gave her wings, Johnson. She just flapping around, going nowhere. Hey, Amy, you do know that there's going to be some blacks and Latinos voting, right? You do realize that, right? You do realize it's a big country. It's got a lot of states. Yeah. And when you talked about, people appreciate her bluntness. Folks, that's the closest she got to owning up to throwing a stapler at the head of one of her interns, one of her staff members. Ro Khanna did a good job here of refuting some of the Some of the horrible narratives they've been painting about Bernie Sanders as if all of a sudden Bernie's going to wipe out all the corporations and turn them all over to the state and will be a communist country of some type, which is total BS. Rose like, hey man, I'm from Silicon Valley. I would lose my district if I was actually supporting a candidate that wanted to rip apart all the corporations. Corporations fund me. I don't know about that. Sorry, Ro, but you know what I mean. People with jobs in Silicon Valley. Where else they going to work? All right, so anyway, let's listen to Bernie Sanders. He has something to say in response to some of the criticism from James Carville.
This weekend to check out the Democratic campaigns. As the frontrunner in the polls, Senator Bernie Sanders of neighboring Vermont.
Carville, who's obviously a longtime Clinton loyalist, was supporting Senator Michael Bennet, who obviously dropped out of the primary race last night. He said this week that core Democratic voters aren't interested in being in what he said a cult. He said they're not interested in socialism and revolution and other things he called foolishness, and that, quote, I don't know how you win an election 78 years old screaming in a microphone about the revolution. I don't know if he was actually screaming at the time, although it's very possible, knowing James. But so I want to give you a chance to respond.
Look, James, in all due respect, is a political hack who said very terrible things when he was working for Clinton against Barack Obama. I think he said some of the same things. Look, we are taking on the establishment. This is no secret to anybody. We're taking on the wall. I guess the former head of Goldman Sachs attacked me yesterday.
Yeah, he had
We're
some
taking on
things
Wall
as well.
Street. He did, yeah, Wall Street. And the insurance companies don't like me. And you know what? The pharmaceutical industry, which is charging us 10 times more for the same drugs they sell in Canada, they don't like me either. Nor does the fossil fuel industry, because their product happens to be destroying our planet. Nor does the military-industrial complex or the prison-industrial complex. We are taking on Trump, the Republican establishment, Carville, and the Democratic establishment. But at the end of the day, the grassroots movement that we are putting together of young people, of working people, of people of color, want real change.
But you know,
and they want us to take.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, though, it's not all, just establishment folks who have a vested interest. I mean, there are, American citizens who, went out to vote in New Hampshire and voted for Klobuchar or voted for Buttigieg or in some cases Biden, who just feel like revolution is, it's just too much. They maybe like their plans. They don't want their insurance taken away for something else in government hands they don't have, any idea about.
Well, first of all, I think if you look at the issues that we are talking about, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, enormously popular. Demanding that the wealthy and the powerful and large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes, enormously powerful and popular. Making public colleges and universities tuition free. As I said earlier, Medicare for all was one of the reasons we won in New Hampshire. It is very popular in New Hampshire, and I suspect among Democrats all over this country. Criminal justice reform, immigration reform. These are issues that the American people, in fact, support. And we're going to win this election because we are prepared to stand up to Wall Street and the corporate elite and finally do what the American people want.
Senator Bernie Sanders, appreciate it.
Yeah, I love when they point out that there are Americans who don't want a revolution. I understand why. They don't need one. They're doing well. All is well on the Western Front. When all is well and you're not sick or no one in your family is sick and if they are, you can afford the bills, or if you just so happens you have a good plan currently based on your employer, that you currently have, and maybe to you don't need it. All is fine. No problems. But lurking around the corner could be a whole different scenario for you. Then what would you say? Then how would they feel? See, no one has a problem. Like, no one needs a raincoat till it rains. Very few people can say, you know what? Looks like rain. Maybe I ought to get my ass a raincoat. Particularly when the rain could come and wash away everything you own and put you in one of those tent cities. See, we have some Americans who believe they still believe that people who are doing bad are bad people. Yeah, they think it's something they did wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some people who are jerks. Listen to Amy Klobuchar retell again and again the story of her drunk father. But even that is a person with a sickness. But yeah, like, they just under this notion that anybody who can't afford, for instance, college. Yeah, they went to the club and spent all their money in Magic City. Or can't afford daycare. Ah, man, if it wasn't for those rims on that big SUV, you'd be able to afford college for your kids. These are the stupid stereotypes people have in their head. Dumb ideas like, oh man, these people on the street must all be party animals who just decided they'd rather do drugs than pursue meaningful lives. Never once considering that maybe those people have, I don't know, medical issues. Maybe they have psychological issues. Maybe they just got sick. Maybe someone got a cancer diagnosis and then they got bankrupt. Or maybe they have so much trauma in their lives, they're self-medicating themselves, and they were prescribed those drugs that they are now on by medical professionals whom they trusted. So it's easier to look out from the patio of your duplex or whatever it is you're living in and say, oh, those poor suckers. They only worked hard like me. Sipping your espresso with your pinky out, talking shit about the people who are not doing as well as you. Yeah, that's the problem. With all this being, going on, and, of course we got scary Trump in the White House and this horrible stuff, and we all on the verge of jumping off a cliff or running the car in the garage with the windows up or down, or however it goes. We have someone to save us, and that someone is Michael Bloomberg, because we all know Michael Bloomberg is amazing. That's who we really need. We need the Michael Bloomberg in there because he knows how to get things done. He a businessman. And we all know he apologized. And apologies are huge. Oh, there you go. My name is Tim Black. You're now tuned into The Most Watched.